So welcome back to Will's Wheelhouse. Today we're going to be replacing a motor mount, and this is on a 2007 Up General Motors truck. Driver side motor mounts tend to go out pretty quickly, so here's what we need. Obviously you need a motor mount, but you're going to need a 15 millimeter wrench. I use a regular wrench and a ratchet wrench, and then I use an impact gun to get the ones out of the frame. Alright, so the book time on this is about 2 hours, whether it's two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. Two-wheel drives are pretty simple, and what we're going to do on this particular one is we're going to remove the steering shaft, which you'll need a 15 millimeter here to take this bolt out, and right there's an 11 millimeter, which will remove this whole shaft so you get access to it. And you can do this, you can also do this on the four-wheel drives. Alright, so now the bolts are removed from here and down there. So make sure you mark your shaft so you know which orientation it goes back in. Lift it off the bottom and then slide it off of here. Now you have access to all the bolts with nothing in your way. Now you will need to jack the engine up to gain access to get the motor mount out, and the way I do it is, of course, you'll be using a floor jack, but I use a pole jack with a rubber mount right underneath the oil pan, which gives you access to the motor mount bolts. There's four. There's one there, and two on the other side, and then three that actually hold it to the frame right there. So now we're unbolted from the engine block and the frame. We can reach down here and bring this motor mount out. And you can see where it's perished at right there. And you'll need to take these off and put this bracket on the new mount. Alright, bracket's swapped over. Motor mount goes back in the same way it came out. Now you're going to want to mount it to the engine first with those four bolts, and then lower it onto the frame. Now we have it back on the engine. We're going to tighten up these four bolts. And these are easier to get from upstairs, on top of the engine. So, all right, now that all the bolts are tight, we're gonna lower the engine mount, or lower the engine so it goes back into the cradle. And you may have a little trouble with that particular pin. Let's see if it goes in. It looks like it is. Yeah. There you go. Dropped right in. So now you're gonna tighten up those bolts there to 48 foot-pounds or 48 ugga-duggas. Reinstall your steering sector shaft. Make sure you line up your marks. And line up the bottom. So again, some of the tools you'll need are 15mm wrenches. You'll probably need 2 of them. 11mm socket for the bolt down here with a long extension and a ratchet. 15mm bolts here, along with the 4 going into the motor mount to the motor. Floor jack with a rubber pad so you don't damage the oil pan when you lift the engine. And that's about it.